to have him, and his name is Cassady.
Do you guys think that after seeing The Passion of the Christ, anybody went, "The book was better"? Yeah, I'd like to start off the set with a Bible joke, make sure everybody feels nice and comfortable. And to me, like, the book was better crowd, it's like a really awful group of people. But I think the worst people are those who are cocky about still reading an actual newspaper. And I met one of these Mensa members in a squash class I took. And if you don't know what squash is, it's like racquetball. The ball's a little, you know what, it's a sport invented to make white people feel more athletic. So I'm in this squash class, and this girl comes up to me and she goes, "Do you read?" And that question confused me, so I went, "If you're asking if I'm capable, the answer is yes." She goes, "No. Do you read?" I said, "That's the same question." "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, I read the Times. What about you?" I said, "Oh, no, I don't." She just gave me this very dismissive, "Well, all right then." But like, what kind of person does that? What a douchey thing for her to say. I will give her, though, it's not the douchiest thing I've ever heard. I heard that in an education class I took, and it surprised me because I thought it was going to happen in my meaning of human existence class, just filled with beanies, circular frame glasses, and fixed gear bicycles, where people said things like, "Yeah, man." And my philosophy professor, he was also like exactly what you'd expect. Just like take a second, picture a philosophy professor, really picture it. That's right. Just a guy who looks like he maxed out his credit card to buy an acoustic guitar and learn Ironic by Alanis Morissette. But this thing in my education class, it really takes the cake. So it's the first day of class, and we're doing this activity where we have to fill in the blanks. I used to be blank, now I'm blank. So we get the typical, "I used to be a follower, now I'm a leader." "I used to be a caterpillar, now I'm a beautiful butterfly." And then this guy stands up and with the front of his face just goes, "I used to be a feather, now I'm the wind." I'm just going to need a second process of that. What does that mean? You used to be a feather, now. You know what? You're right. You are the wind, because you blow, dude. Don't ever say anything like that again. So it's new year, new semester. A lot of people have goals, new goals, and a pretty common one is to go to the gym. And I've been going to the gym for a while now, and I have a new goal. I have this lantern tattoo on my arm, and I want to get so big that when I flex, it lights up. And going to the gym for this long, I've accumulated a lot of stories about weird things I've seen. I've talked about it before, where in a confrontation, I saw a guy lift up his shirt and flex his abs. I saw a guy in a mesh tank top that said "hostile" across the front. Because if you're going to be aggressive, you want breathable clothing. I saw a guy use a girl's butt cheeks as the viewfinder on a periscope. I'll explain. So, she was doing tricep dips, and he was spotting her, we'll call it, but his face was just like directly in between the cheeks, and he was scanning the gym like, "Land ho," or groceries. I don't know what he was going to say at that point. But this next story I'm going to tell, it's nothing like those. This is actually a love story. So, over the summer, I was at the gym, I was deadlifting, I don't know, 700 pounds. And I noticed this guy staring at me, and despite what my Fitbit might say about me, it's not because I'm a prime physical specimen. I know what I'm working with. And I know you guys are probably thinking like, yeah, this guy lifts weight, not weights plural, we don't want to give him too much credit, but he probably knows what the inside of a gym smells like. So, don't get me wrong though, there are definitely people who are worth staring at. I've been known to stare at a dude or two in my day. And I think if I got caught, I'd probably panic, but I'd like to think I'd own it. Like, what are you looking at, man? Sorry, sir. You wouldn't want to happen to Freaky Friday switch. You can be Jamie Lee Curtis, I'll be Lindsay. No? Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. So this guy's staring at me, and I'm expecting him to either look away or make an incredibly out-of-date pop culture reference. And when he does neither, I take off my headphones and I go, "What's up, man?" And he looks down at this bar that he's loaded with weight, and he goes, "How much does this weigh?" I said, "I'm sorry, what?" He goes, "How much does this weigh?" I said, "I have no idea." And we just stand there in silence looking at each other for a long time. So I go, "I could look it up for you if you want." He goes, "That'd be great." So it's in kilograms. He wants to know how much it is in pounds. So I type it into Google, I tell him it's about 200 pounds. He goes, "Cool." And then he loads more weight on the bar, steps back. Out. So I change my calculation and I go, "It's about 225 pounds. He goes, "Awesome. Can you spot me?" I say, "Yes," without figuring out what exercise he's doing, which can be pretty dangerous. So he's doing power cleans, and for those of you that don't know, you start with the bar on the ground, you squat down, bring it up to your shoulders, and then you press it up. Now, does anybody here know how to spot for that? Yeah, me neither. So, I think though I'll be okay, because in my experience, spotting, you don't really do much. You're just kind of standing with your genitals a little closer to something. So I think it'll be fine. So he gets up to the weight, and right before he's about to go, he turns to me and goes, "Just so you know, this is my 1 rep max." And all I hear is, "We're gonna die. This is the end of this world. If something goes wrong, I can't help either of us." But I can't tell him that. We've established a lot of trust. So he goes, he lifts it successfully, thank goodness, and throws the weight down, and he turns to me and goes, "That was heavy as shit." Now, I didn't really know what to say to that, so I went with, "Yeah." And we parted ways, and I saw him a few more times over the summer, but didn't really think much of it. So fast forward to the fall semester, it's the first day of class, and I'm walking on the sidewalk, and I see him in passing. I go, "Oh, it's so crazy, what a coincidence. I'll probably never see him again." And if I was right, this wouldn't be a good story, and I don't want to waste your guys' time. So what actually happened was, I saw him 4 or 5 times a week, and now I think about him every single day. And I'm not religious or spiritual, but something supernatural has to be at work here. Like, the universe is telling us, you two need to be together, and there's no sense fighting it. And now that I've kind of accepted this, I like to daydream about our future together. There's one image that keeps coming back to me. We're in the hospital, about to give birth to our first child. I'm in the stirrups. You heard how much he lifts. And I give birth to this beautiful baby boy. We both start crying. The doctors take him and clean him off. They hand him back to me. I look up at my lover and hand him our son. And he looks in my eyes and he goes, "How much does this weigh?" I think you guys are great.